All right, people, what the hell is going on? It is. Y'all can hear The Walking Dead playing in the background over there. Let me just close that door a little bit. That's the Fear the Walking Dead playing now. It just shows you how much interest I got in it. I just started to shoot a video right in the middle of it. But I just wanted to talk about The Walking Dead in general, and as long as The Walking Dead stuff is out, I'm probably gonna try to watch it. But it ain't, man, look, within the last week and a half or whatever, I watched Dead City, I watched Daryl Dixon, I watched The Ones Who Live, and now I'm finishing off by watching the final season of Fear the Walking Dead. And it's been a minute. I'm just now getting around to it because I'm using a friend of mine's Amazon Prime to watch it, which I could have did a long time ago when this shit had first came out, but I had forgot I even had access to it, so whatever. I've been avoiding The Walking Dead shit all these months, and finally figured out, like, shit, I had access to a goddamn account this whole time. I could have been watching. But I started off with Dead City. I tried to watch them in order. I don't know what order. But Dead City, I watched it. It's only got Negan, Maggie. I'm just like, okay, I watched this. As it went on, it didn't hold me. I watched the whole damn season. It was number 6 season. It didn't. When it was over, I wasn't clamoring for more. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, here we go. This shit, and during it, I'm just like, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. I'm just like, this ain't much of nothing. It's kind of like those episodes. All of the shows are like this. It's like those episodes of The Walking Dead when everybody splits up, and then they have the episodes of this group, then the episode of this group, and before they finally get back together at some point. This is literally what that is. You get the group that you don't care about. You get that episode of folks that you don't give a shit about. You got to sit through the episode. That's what this is like. You would think just because Negan is in it, I give no shits about Maggie. I really don't. I was kind of upset when they started off and then they rehashed that whole baseball bat. I can't even think of that dude's name. I don't know why. Glenn. You know what I'm saying? They keep rehashing that shit, and then this story, Dead City, is still spurned from that, and I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? I know that's an interaction between those. That was not an interaction, but that was an event to where where has conflict in between those two characters. But I'm like, why would you pick that to keep this shit going, even though it's those two characters? Because a lot of people stopped watching The Walking Dead because of that in particular. Now you got a whole nother spinoff that's based off of, and it ain't about that, but it's kind of based off of that shit there. Well, actually, it is based off of that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember the damn story. It's based off of that. Ain't nobody coming back for that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you just fix some shit. You gonna pick an event in the show that was divisive as hell, and you gonna have a spinoff, and you gonna base it off of that. I was like, this, watching the show myself personally, because I didn't give a damn. But in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, a lot of people didn't like this, and most of those people wouldn't be watching this spinoff, this, extension or whatever the hell you want to call it. They wouldn't be watching it no way, because they would have stopped, right after the Negan shit. So, but you definitely not getting no people back, and then you gotta get the new location, which is fine, and all the nasty shit. All the zombie shit is just nasty. I guess it's supposed to be. I'm just like, nah. Why the fuck? Why I don't want to see none of this shit? And luckily for me, while I'm watching the shows, and all of them were like this when I was watching on Amazon, is they had a synopsis after the show. So I can watch the episode, and you know how you usually watch an episode, all kind of shit go over your head while you watching the episode, unless you watching the motherfucker 2 or 3 goddamn times. You got the synopsis of some of the creators telling you their thoughts and what processes and what was going on in there. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That was the shit to me. I was like, oh shit, I like this. Now I done watched the episode like I wouldn't usually do, and then they come back after the episode and do a little talk on the episode. So if I missed anything or I misinterpreted something, they would be there, maybe at the end to correct it if they just so happen to, say some shit that, you remember during the episode. So I like that. But that was a little bit on the underwhelming side. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a season 2 and all this other shit. You gotta give shit time to ramp up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give shit time to ramp up. So I'm like, okay, they planted the seeds, and for the next season to come around, because they did everything they was gonna do and end up rescuing Herschel. It's just hard for me to look at that kid and call him Herschel. He just don't look like the Asian kid. He don't look like no fucking Herschel. Yeah. And then they got the drum between them and a new big bad in that series, and it looks like it's interesting going forward. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, it looked like it might have some issues, but I was just going towards the end of it. I was just like, okay, I watched this shit. That was my thoughts on it. Then I get to Daryl Dixon. I watched Daryl Dixon. Do I know what the fuck was going on in Daryl Dixon? No, I don't. Know why? Because I don't speak French and I don't read subtitles. So watching Daryl Dixon was a big ass fucking waste of time. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm vision impaired. I can't read subtitles. I can if I sit there and pause the TV and do this shit right here. Do I want to spend all my time like this on the TV with it paused with me trying to watch the show? Fuck no. No, you know what I'm saying? So I don't do subtitles. I don't speak French. So literally, more than half of that show went straight into the trash. Then I have no idea. I just know it was some kid that they had to get somewhere. Why? I have no fucking idea. Because everybody was speaking fucking French or some fucked up broke ass English. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess they had to, we following Daryl and he in France, so we had to follow him as he kind of see shit. So people would come up to him speaking French. I don't speak. You're like, I'm an American, so they'll start speaking whatever English that they know, because English is You know how the English did. So they was all over the place. So yeah, a lot of people, everybody got a little bit of English in them. They start speaking what English they know. And it's usually some broken ass Fringlish. You know what I'm saying? It's just some broken ass shit. It's like, not even like Spanglish down here. You know, motherfuckers be talking. Because they do that in the show where motherfuckers will be talking in French. Just whatever French is. And then just starts right in the middle of conversation, just kind of switch over to English. Why the fuck couldn't you do that? Why? You know what I'm saying? There got to be a better way to do that. Now, I don't know where they shot the show. And if they shooting the show in France or whatever, because they want to have the right backdrops and all that other shit, and you hiring people from out there, I totally understand that. You know, that's exactly what I would try to do. Now, could you do it a little bit better? Probably. Do I know exactly how? No, I am not into cinema like that, so I couldn't tell you. I just know personally I just can't do subtitles. And I used to watch fucking kung fu movies all the goddamn time, so subtitles usually didn't bother me. But they do now. But that's besides the fact, to the point that Daryl Dixon is just a boring ass character. A lot of people will be like, Daryl is cool. Daryl is a one-note character. You know what I'm saying? Daryl is a one-note character with barely any personality at all. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. If you think about it, going back into the original series, just think about it. You know, can he really carry some shit on his own? No. He's supposed to be somebody that's short on words and big on action when he's pushed to it. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, I spit all over the place. Not just he's just some big action guy, but he's big on action when he's pushed to it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the appeal, but he's not a character you should have a spinoff on. Just no, not by himself. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they had Maggie and Negan, because Maggie can't do shit on her own. You know what I'm saying? It's just, who would watch a show about Maggie? Nobody. Maggie wouldn't even watch a show about Maggie. You put Negan in there, you got the little conflict between them two, you got something. Even Negan by itself might be able to carry a goddamn show if you got the rest of it right. Daryl, no. He's there. Daryl is there in France by himself, talking to a bunch of fucking people that can't understand English, and a bunch of people that talking to him that don't speak English. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while you run across somebody that do speak English and they always turn out to be assholes. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you in another country. You find run across somebody that speak English like you understand it, like maybe in an American accent. You like, shit, I ran across another American. Hey, what's going on? And he turned out to be the biggest dick ever. I'm like, shit. So I didn't like that. The best part of Daryl Dixon, and I don't dislike the character, that's my opinion on it, is when it went off. That was it. Like literally, my best part of Daryl Dixon is when it went off. The last 2 or 3 minutes of it, when they showed Carol looking for they showed Carol being Carol. You know, it just, I mean, it don't get no better than that. Carol is my favorite character in The Walking Dead. She just is. You know what I'm saying? Could you do a show on her by herself? Yeah, but you'd have to have her doing you'd have to turn her into like fucking Mary Sue. A lot of people wouldn't like that. And she ain't that far from it now, tell you the truth. You know, Carol is about as closest to a Mary Sue as you can get in The Walking fucking Dead. She damn, other than her little, I don't know what she got going on, but she got them things where You know, what one of them people that like to be off by themselves and don't want to be bothered with nobody and all that type of shit, kind of like Daryl. She got that kind of shit going where she might disappear for a while, don't want to be bothered with nobody. She can go off somewhere and live on her own and reflect and all kind of shit. And just other than that, she don't miss. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever it is she tries to do that I'm trying to remember, she pretty much pulls it off. You know what I'm saying? She ain't one of the people that go do some shit and then fuck everything up. You know what I'm saying? That was it. At the end of the show, when she shows up looking for Daryl, best part of the show. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, Daryl is on the other side of the goddamn Atlantic Ocean. So I'm like, okay, the next season of whatever show that's gonna continue that is gonna be great. No, it's probably gonna be okay, just because of the character. Because at the end of Daryl Dixon, the way they showed it, he wasn't coming back. He was staying in France. So I'm assuming Carol is gonna end up tracking him down to the coast to figure out where the fuck he went. And they gonna be like, well, you know, they went sailing that way, and however the fuck they ended up over in France or whatever. And that's probably how she gonna end up tracking them down if she find them. But I don't mind following Carol. I don't mind following Carol. I'd rather sit through some Carol shit than Daryl. You get both of them together, you know, it ain't no thing. But Daryl by himself, nah. He's 2-1 though. Carol herself, she does everything. She's sweet, she's mean, and she's sneaky mean. She mean after she done fucked you up. So it's you know, it's one of them things. So that was it on Daryl Dixon. And then we got the grand finale. I don't even know if it's a grand finale, but you know, whatever. The shit everybody been waiting for. The return of fucking Rick Grimes. My least favorite character. I do not like Rick. I do not like Rick and Michonne. That shit makes me sick in my stomach. And ain't because that ain't no mixed race shit or no shit, nothing like that. I do not like Rick. I just don't. I don't. It's a character thing. Me, if Rick was a real goddamn person, and me being who I am, if we were in the same universe together, we would not get a fucking along. You know what I'm saying? I would have to distance myself from Rick because it would be a personality clash. You know what I'm saying? It would be a personality clash. I do not like Rick. I just don't. And Michonne is all right, but the whole sword thing, and ain't nothing wrong with the sword thing, but after a while, Michonne got to the point where she ain't really do shit. At least not that I can remember. And I'm thinking it's because she wasn't in the show as much. And when she was in the show, they didn't have her doing a whole lot. Cause I mean, all you do with the sword is kill a bunch of fucking walkers. People walk around with knives doing that shit. So I'm just like, eh. So I mean, she got the cool factor. You know what I'm saying? But as far as character shit, nah, it really ain't much to Michonne other than the dreads and the sword. It's not. So you got the ones who live. You got this whole love story, which is basically what it is between Rick and Michonne looking for each other, trying to find each other from their current predicaments. And I don't give a fuck. I watched that whole shit. Now I can admit that it's better than Dead City. It's better than Daryl Dixon. What makes it bad is my I want to say my prejudice towards it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. My prejudice towards it because I don't like Rick. You know what I'm saying? It's because I don't like Rick as a character. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real Rick is a character. I don't like Rick Grimes. Never. I can't say never have, but after a certain point in the series, it got to. I guess once we got to the Ricktatorship or whatever the fuck you want to call it with the beard. You know what I'm saying? When did it change? When he got the beard and a jacket or something, that's when they say the Ricktatorship started. And through the whole show, I was like, fuck Rick. Even when I'm talking about the ones who live now, even through the whole show, I was like, fuck Rick, even though Rick was making some goddamn sense. At the beginning of the show, I'm like, see, I don't like Rick. Rick, you're dumb, son. You're dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, certain stupid shit has to happen in a show just to get the narrative going. This motherfucker cut off his goddamn hand trying to escape from the people at the CMR or CRM or whatever the fuck you want to call that shit. Cut off his hand. And I was like, that was totally unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Rick hand's supposed to have been gone in the middle of the original series if you was going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So basically they had him cut off his hand because he had one hand in the comics. So they had this thing where he cut off his hand trying to escape from these people. That was a big strike right at the beginning. I'm like, why did he cut off his hand? That is dumb. You know what I'm saying? That is dumb. You don't just cut off your fucking hand while you in the middle of fucking trying to escape from somewhere, knowing you're gonna fucking bleed to death, even though they had him where he stuck his hand in these burning zombies. He stuck his arm in there and cauterized. I just, whatever, man. Whatever. I don't, whatever. Oh, and what the fuck was those, in Daryl Dixon, those acid zombies with the acid blood or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck they was doing. Like I say, everything is in French. But the zombies, not even zombies, I'm saying zombies, pissing people off knowing that they don't have zombies in this universe. But you know, I don't know if they call them walkers over there, but you know what the fuck I'm saying. Because I'd be the first motherfuckers to be like, Walking Dead doesn't have zombies. The zombies don't exist in those universe. They don't say zombies. They do in The Walking Dead. Somebody said zombies once in The Walking Dead, the Telltale Walking Dead. So, they said zombies one time, and it wasn't even supposed to be in there, but it is. But anyway, where did the acid zombies come from? You know, I'm just like, ah. And through all the shows, you know, they show out people is driving and doing all kind of other shit, and it wasn't until a little bit later on through Dead City where, you know, I'm like, why is motherfuckers, you know how many years them went by in The Walking Dead? A lot of time has gone by since the original, the breakout or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Motherfuckers, many years that went by. Motherfuckers is just driving around like it's today. You know what I'm saying? But I was out and I was thinking about that shit. I'm like, what the fuck, motherfuckers just driving around like it ain't shit. They just cruising cross country. Ain't no, but you know, okay, they got ethanol. Now they driving around in vehicles that don't look like they run on ethanol, but you okay, you know, whatever. I guess you can just stick ethanol in any gas running engine. I mean, if you, I don't know. That was their way of having motherfuckers being able to just drive all over the goddamn place. Now they got ethanol in Dead City, and I think they mentioned it in The Ones Who Live. And Daryl Dixon, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they mentioned ethanol or any kind of fuel or any kind of, but they be driving around in that shit too. So they done managed over the years to figure out some kind of way to get fuel. In Dead City, they found a way to condense the methane from the dead into a liquid fuel or some shit. You know, just nasty. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it just, whatever. But anyway, back to the ones who live. The shit get crazy. The longer you try to keep this shit going, the more nuts it's gonna fucking get. You know, you gotta keep a real tight rein on stuff for shit to just not make fucking, you know, just be stupid. But anywho, Rick chopping off his hand was dumb. And they gave him all that just to give him this little prosthetic fist hand with a blade that stick out of it when he want, with a retractable blade. I'm just like, y'all, come on now. Like, for real, I'm like, come on now. So he's trying to escape. So he had to just say, fuck it, join their little army and fall in the ranks with them to be able to bide his time for a window. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got, okay, I got to play their game to be able to get out of here. So he did that. And then you got Michonne on the other side who was wandering around with some people. It's just, I don't know. She wandered around with some caravan. God damn, I'm spitting all over the place. Some caravan folks ended up splitting off from that caravan. Damn it, my nose. Then you got it had to be some kind of connection for them to be able to find each other. So you got the CRM or whatever the fuck, I keep forgetting. It's something like that Rick is part of. It's a hidden city. It's a big city with hundreds of thousands of people. It's isolated. You know, folks that's in there can't leave, and they don't want nobody coming in. They got a separate military that goes out and, you know, keeps, you know, shit from happening. That's where all the helicopters and all that shit come from that you might have seen towards the end of the fucking the original series. And that Judas lady that was with the trash people, she works with them too. Judas, I think that's her name. So I'm watching this shit, and then some weird, some fucked up shit happened on Michonne's side where the CRM people don't want nobody to know where they at, so they kill everybody that even look like they trying to they moving towards the city. You know what I'm saying? They gas them. They go out in the helicopters, they shoot this gas out and kill people that's wandering towards the city. Whether they trying to get to the city or not. If you just happen to be wandering towards the city, you know, that's gonna be your ass. So they just kill regular normal ass people for that. Just walking in the wrong goddamn direction. They might not even have no interest. They could have been, you know, whatever. So Michonne got caught up in that. They survived the gas, her and some other people. Oh, that other dude, some little midget who I was very confused by when they first showed him on screen. Because it was I don't know, they was talking to some people and he was like blah 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 blah. He was talking and I ain't the only, no, I'm not the only one, but it sounded like a woman was talking. But when you look at the face, it was clearly a dude's face. And they did it on purpose. You know they did it on purpose. It was a dude's face. His face was on the screen like this. He was talking because he was getting his point across. But it's like if you watching my face, but he didn't have all of this. I think he had a little fuzz on his face, but he didn't have like no full beard. And he was talking. He was talking. But it was a woman's voice come out of his face, which is not unusual. I've seen people on TV, like regular people, like grown ass men, the way they talk it's a woman's voice that come out. It is what it is. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? It's shocking when you first see it, but I mean, if you've seen it before, you be like, oh, you know. But it wasn't until he pulled back and it was like a little person. I was like, okay. But for some reason after that, he didn't sound as much like a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like they did. His voice was different after that. I don't know. It was weird. But it was like a little dude. I was like, okay. So you got he was wandering around with Michonne and looking for Rick. He decided he wanted to go with her after that gas shit and whatever went wrong. And like I said, Rick had joined the ranks of the military with this other CRM. So he was on a helicopter that was going off doing this shit to people. You know, not that he was with it, but you know what I'm saying, he part of it. And the fucking try not to say midget. The little dude is he's like a typical dwarf. Not like underground, you know, not living underground dwarf like on Dragon Age or some shit. He like the dwarves you would see, the other iteration of dwarves that are like engineers that build shit. You know what I'm saying? Tinkerers and shit like that. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Any nerds out there know what I'm talking about. I play Gems of War, and they got the little dwarves on there, and most of them are like, well, not most of them, but half of them like engineers and tinkerers, and they make shit. They want to make stuff. And this motherfucker here, I guess he engineered some kind of goddamn rocket launcher. I'm watching this shit on TV, and I'm still trying to see how this shit operate. I cannot. How the fuck you got this little handmade rocket launcher? It shot down a fucking helicopter. The helicopter that had Rick in it. This motherfucker had this little shot the fucking helicopter down. I was like, bullshit. Bullshit. But you gotta have stupid shit in the show to keep stuff moving. So he was able to shoot down a helicopter with some boo-boo ass rocket launcher he done made. And then it shot down the helicopter, and then all the people was out. And then after they shot down the helicopter, Michonne started doing Michonne. Motherfuckers was crawling out the helicopter. She walking up next to motherfuckers just like, yeah, pull off their helmet, look them in the eyes and slit their throat, just like some ruthless ass shit, until she got the Rick. She didn't know it was Rick. Rick had a helmet on and that prosthetic hand, so she was getting ready to, and he blocked his fucking, blocked the sword and started doing all this other shit. I think she ended up pulling off his helmet. Decided it was Rick, and that was her first time seeing him. So they separated. He was laying on the ground. She backed fuck up, pulled off her goddamn shit, and they looking at each other like, And this is still early on in the fucking show, relatively. And they found each other, and I'm just gonna say this. Between this first part and the rest of the show, I don't want to see Rick and Michonne kiss ever again. I'm so fucking sick of it. Turn me around. I'm like, man, y'all motherfuckers better. Ain't nobody brushed their teeth. Ain't nobody been gargling. Ain't nobody been nut. Both of y'all motherfuckers' breath must be hella hard right about now. No, I'm saying, I'm thinking that about everybody. I'm like, ain't nobody. Rick living in a civilized place. You know, he might have been the first one. I'm like, Michonne been out in the wild for a while now, and she can't be fresh in a whole bunch of different aspects of the word. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shit. That's what I think about when I watch all these goddamn shows. I'm like, all y'all stink. All of you. Everybody out here funky, musty, breath stinking. It is what it is. Fucking apocalypse. What can you do? You can either drink the water or you bathe in it. Can't do both. It might be more important than drink the water. Anyway, they find each other. And the show proceeds to be stupid for the next few episodes. I'm serious. The show tends to be. it just turns the stupid on for the next few episodes. Because Rick has to cooperate with the people that he's involved with. Now, he brought what's his name back, and back, but she couldn't be herself. She had to be somebody else. They do some kind of personality test and all kind of shit when you get there, and you don't want to be an A, you want to be a B, because they don't let A's in, because A people are strong-minded and all kind of stuff like that. They usually they don't leave shit alone, so they won't let stuff keep operating like it's operating. You know what I'm saying? So they keep those people on the outside, and B people that just come in and go with the flow, they let in. So, but yeah, of course, Michonne get there. She uses a different name, and they have to act like they don't know each other, because Michonne had to act like she was being taken prisoner by Rick. They had to figure out the story about the helicopter, because one of the dudes shot the little dude that shot the helicopter down, so he dead. That was sad. I was not happy. I wasn't happy about that. I was like, they shot the little dude. Come on, man. He could have just had something where he just kind of wandered off on his own, or ended up in one of the societies or something. They had to kill a little dude off. Come on now. You finally get a likable character in there. Bye. Anyway, the show gets stupid after that. Now notice I could talk about this show, but not the other two, because I think a whole lot more effort was put into this. And plus you got two main, big, large characters. God damn, I'm spitting all over the place. Two main characters in this instead of the one. I don't count Maggie, in each of the other ones. But the show gets stupid because after Michonne gets into the little Messiah, what the fuck am I saying? The society. She's on the outside. They got one of them things where you got to be on some kind of work detail for 6 years before you get citizenship. So that means you're on fucking cleanup duty and killing zombies and shit for 6 years before you even have a chance of getting inside the city and shit like that. But life is good, even in comparison, because you got clothes, food, all this other shit. So she in there doing such and such. She doing the job she's supposed to be doing. They interviewing her and shit like that. I forgot what name that she gave them, Dina or Dinah or some shit like that. And she telling her story to those people, which is not true or not entirely true. Because she can't, she got to keep this facade up, and that they don't know Rick. That's why Rick even told you can't call them walkers, because I call them walkers. You got to call them something else if they ask you about that, because they always probing. But it's like every once in a while they'll cross paths out, in the little place. They'll go off to the side, have a little talk. I'm like, oh, Rick could be sitting somewhere while she working. He'd just be looking and shit. I'm like, Rick, come on, you got to keep distance from this chick until y'all get y'all playing together. You just sitting there. I mean, you're not subtle at all, bro. Come on now. Yeah. It's one of the things you looking at the show and you just not subtle at all. You just, your sneak skill is very low, son. You need to invest some points in your fucking sneak skill. It sucks. It sucks, Rick. So anyway, they gotta get out. Rick is now. Remember I said Judas. Judas is in there. She worked for those people, and she knows about Michonne because she know those people. So you know what I'm saying. But she's like using that as leverage and shit like that. Trying to figure out, what the fuck are you doing? She actually says that, Rick, what the fuck are you doing? So But she gonna use that as leverage against them at some point. But well, she gonna try to, but she never really does. But the stupid part is, Rick is like, okay, I can't leave. You know what I'm saying? After he talked to Judas and all this other shit, because Judas know where everything is, all the Hilltop and Alexandria and all that other stuff in the show. She knows about all that. So she was like, you can't leave. You can't escape. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do, well, Rick was like, they know about it. If Rick leaves, at the end of the day, while I'm trying to explain this shit, Rick is in there embedded in that shit. He can't go because if he goes, they know where all the communities are. They gonna go blow that shit the fuck up. Basically, that's what I'm saying. And that's where his kids are, or his kid, because he don't actually. I ain't even know, but he don't know about RJ. Figure that shit out because he been gone for a long ass time. I think when he disappeared, or what's his name was pregnant. Michonne was pregnant when he got airlifted off wherever the fuck he went with the bridge shit. So he don't know nothing about RJ. That was like 8 years ago, or some shit like that. A lot of time that went by. Anyway, he trying to tell Michonne, I can get you out of here. Gave her an escape plan and everything. And so she can go back to where she came from. As long as he's there, they're safe. That shit makes sense when you look at the whole thing, the way that shit operates. You know what I'm saying? These people got helicopters and all kind of shit. They get what they want to get. You know what I'm saying? So if they wanted to fuck you up, they can fuck you up. Ain't shit you can do about it, except if you got a little midget with rocket launchers. And other than that, no. I don't think there's a whole bunch of them shits out there. So no, they will fuck you up like they been doing people. He's like, I can't leave. You know what I'm saying? I have to stay here to keep you safe. So he gave Michonne an escape plan for the both of them. They were supposed to get out at a certain time, go follow this route to whatever. It was a boat that was waiting. She got to the boat and it had a note there that he said, I'm not coming. I have to stay here. You go. You'll be safe. I have a story. I already fixed it to where it looked like you know how they use the walkers and say they got a walker that kind of looked like you and they fucked the walker up and blah blah blah. And you know, you had the story already arranged. And well, she didn't go for that shit. She was like, I ain't going nowhere. We do all this trying to find you, and next thing you know, Rick was in there doing his job in there, and he see her at the at her little spot doing the little zombie killing shit. And they just kind of looked at each other. She was mad. Like, and she stayed that way for a long ass time, at least for the next few episodes. I'm just like, and that's why I say the show got stupid for a while, because she was mad at Rick for that. You know what I'm saying? She was mad at Rick for that, which took me out of the show, because I'm like, I don't see Michonne like this. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never seen her like that because she ain't never had a reason to be. But I'm like, he just made it to where you can escape. He can't leave. And it was just this conflict between them over that. She arguing the hell out of him, and he just like, and this is one of the things where I'm like, I'm on Rick's side with this. You know what I'm saying? Because the only way to make this make sense is the TV show your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? It really is. The only way to get yourself out of this is the TV show your way out of it. Because in reality, you do what Rick did. Because, you know, with an organization like the CRM, I'm saying CRM, I can't remember, whatever it is, you know, you don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? And you always, they always hero push. Hero push. They hero push Rick by himself. That's why they had him in the military. He was on the work detail. We see something in you, blah, 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 blah. And then, Michonne come along. They know who Michonne is. And, you and Michonne together, y'all can do anything. And then, they together, together we can do anything. Just really. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, just make it seem like they the most untouchable couple in the world. That's not the case. It's not. Rick and Michonne is not this unstoppable ass fucking force. They are not. They are not. They just they make it seem like they, but when you watch the show, you just like, no. I mean, basically, if you follow the show, they show up. And if you watch The Walking Dead, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They show up generally somewhere where people are already. Fuck they shit up. Stay there for a minute. They shit get fucked up. They move on somewhere else where somebody already is. Fuck they shit up. They sit there for a while. They shit get fucked up and they go somewhere else. Everywhere they go get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They always go and fuck somebody else shit up that was already doing what they was doing. So, no. Rick and Michonne aren't this unstoppable force that can do any fucking thing. They are in this show because that's what the fuck they for the right. But that ain't the narrative that was pushed throughout the goddamn shows. So, I wouldn't buy that shit at all. You know how it's gonna turn out at the end. So you just have to roll with it. But anyway, back to this stupid shit. with them arguing. She just going off, and you could. It's just that, okay, when you just think about it, if you just sitting on Rick's side and you listening to Michonne be pissed off and arguing Rick up and down about leaving and all this other stuff, you like, bitch, you don't realize how stupid you fucking sound right now? You know what I'm saying? You sound stupid. You really do. And I'm like, writing the show, that y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see how dumb that argument is that Michonne has right now? How stupid this is? You have to, if you got this lovers quarrel going on right now, and you got to write something. I'm like, that's the best y'all come up with. You know what I'm saying? That's the best y'all come up with. That her argument doesn't hold fucking water. You know, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I understand her wanting to go back with Rick, but under the current circumstances, you go back with Rick, they follow you and blow up your whole goddamn community. And matter of fact, while they was because they end up escaping together eventually. They end up in some goddamn high-tech ass apartment building. I don't know what the fuck. And that's what they was doing, a bunch of they fucking arguing about going back and all kind of shit like that. And then the CRM show up and start blowing up the building that they fucking in. Really? And it went to after that to where it was like, okay, we can't. Okay, we ain't gonna be able to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna be able to do this. So they plan, and I'm not gonna go through the whole synopsis, but this is not the stupid shit in the middle of the show about her arguing with Rick over going back. Until she just all of a sudden flipped. You know what I'm saying? Just all of a sudden just flipped. God damn, I'm still spitting all over the place. And I'm just like, come on, man, y'all gotta do better than that. It's too, I can't call it inconsistency in the writing. I don't know what the fuck to call it, but that's not how you roll into that. You know what I'm saying? It's like whoever was doing this wasn't necessarily a writer. I don't want to say nothing bad because I think Denai wrote a lot of this. You know, the lady that played Michonne. I think she had a lot of input on it. How much? I don't know. But I do know that during the little synopsis at the end, they say she had a whole lot of input on this shit. And I was just like, I mean, if she's somewhat on the, if she's an actor who just happened to be doing some shit, you know, as far as half directing and writing and shit like that, or whatever she was doing to influence the shit, I was like, this part sucks. You know what I'm saying? It does. It sucks. Because the argument don't make sense, and I'm just like, yeah, that seemed like some woman shit. Now, I ain't trying to sound sexist, no shit like that. But you know, as a man, sometimes you be listening to a woman argue, you be like, ain't nothing she's saying making sense right now. Because that's basically how it was. She was arguing. It was kind of irrational. Her argument was kind of irrational. And Rick's argument was pretty damn practical. Just like he was thinking rationally about shit that can happen. And that's generally how how they would conflict a man and a woman. You know, stereotypically. Well, a woman has these irrational ass thoughts and a man is always the pragmatic motherfucker making sense. Well, in this case, that's what it was. I don't know if they was trying to get across, but that's what it was, because the shit that Michonne was talking wasn't making a whole lot of goddamn sense. You about to get everybody killed. You want to escape with Rick, blah, 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 until she was like, okay, I see what's going on. We can't let them keep doing this. Okay, that kind of makes sense because she witnessed. She was part of an attack by these people. So she watched some bunch of people die. She was part of it. You know what I'm saying? She just happened to survive the shit. The little gassing that happened in the beginning of that episode. So, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what part of the episode did that happen in, because the first episode was all Rick. The second episode, I think, was all Michonne, which was a better episode because I don't like Rick, like I said. So that first episode was ass to me. The second episode was all right because, in general, Michonne has personality. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't come across in the show. It don't, because I mean, they just didn't write her that way. But in there, I mean, she got some personality. She kind of funny, crack little half jokes and shit like that. But, you know, so that was kind of enjoyable. It wasn't no Rick in it, so I was enjoying it until Rick come along. And Rick was making sense, confusing the hell out of me. I'm like, I don't like Rick, but Rick making sense. And now Michonne done flipped. I don't even like Michonne at this point, because she talking some dumbass goddamn shit about to get everybody she know killed. And then it went to after they tried to kill her that she like, okay, they got to figure out a plan to go take down a whole army. 2 people for to go and take down a whole fucking army, because this city has its own. The city is a city. Then they have a military outside of it. They separate entities. You know what I'm saying? But they got a whole military, 6,000 goddamn people, in a city full of hundreds of thousands of people, and you got 2 people for to go in there, which they did, because it's the show, and undo all that shit. You know, they undo the military. Well, they didn't undo the military, but they got into the military, fucked that shit up, you know, and end up influence the people to change that, because I don't think the people in the city really knew what was going on with the military, but they end up fixing all that shit, TV stuff, and then you had the reunification between those two and their family. So you had Rick meeting up with his daughter. I can't think of that girl name. You know, the girl with the fucking hat and the gun, the little girl. And I can't think of fucking name. And his son, RJ, which he never met. You know what I'm saying? He never met RJ. RJ is a big fucking kid now. You know what I'm saying? So, Rick like, shit, I got a little black baby. Okay, whatever. But, and that was the end of the show. Them meeting in this field, introducing each other to them, and all the, just like, okay, whatever. You don't know where the show can go from there. Because they just showed them in the field. They didn't show them where they was. They didn't show the Alexandria houses or the neighborhood or none of that shit. They just showed them getting off the helicopter and going over meeting in this field. And they did have like a little love scene. I skipped right through that. Do I want to watch Michonne and Rick have snoo? No. Right past it. And I'm like, I don't even know. I'm trying to watch this show. If I watch that, I'm not gonna watch the show. I don't want to see this shit. Like for real. So it was fine as a show. You know, if I take my prejudice out of it, my dislike for Rick, because I ain't gonna never like Rick. Excuse me. The show was fine. It was the best one out of the 3 that came out. Wasn't no cliffhangers, no shit like that. So you don't know if they go. I don't know if it is gonna be anything else after that, because I don't know. It would depend on the actors and all that other stuff. You know how that shit kind of go. Whether I can't think of nobody's name right there. Whether the Rick Grimes actor want to do this shit, or whether Michonne actors want to do the shit. You know, what other stuff they got going on, stuff like that. Because, you know, she's in the Marvel stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they whole nother show. I mean, they could do multiple things at one time. But, you know, you keep doing shit like that, people going to start picking you for shit. You know what I'm saying? And every time they get like that, your price keep going up and all this other stuff. And then Andrew Lincoln, that's his name, play Rick. And I think Andrew Lincoln wanted to be in England. You know what I'm saying? I think he wanted to be in England. He wanted to spend more time with his family because, you know, he lived over there. He don't live over here where they be filming and shit like that. So at least that's what I heard. But that was before they even started filming this shit. So I'm pretty sure they paid him enough money to kind of overlook that for at least a little while. But like I said, it wasn't no cliffhangers or nothing like that leading towards anything past that. So that can go anywhere or not go anywhere at all. I really wouldn't care. I'm not one of those people that was like, man, I can't wait till Rick get back, or was looking forward to a Rick movie, you know, and all this other stuff. Didn't care. Rick disappeared from the series. I didn't give no shits at all. I didn't care not one bit. So after that, I got what's playing in the other room right now. Like I said, it shows you the interest I have in Fear the Walking Dead. That's the final season of that, and I was watching that, and this. I like Fear the Walking Dead. It's kind of flipped. The first 2 seasons, I didn't much like. It had the little teenagers and shit in it or whatever the fuck. They got on my fucking nerves, and I didn't like that Madison chick. I didn't like Madison. Oh man, I tell you right now, I didn't like Madison. I didn't like Madison probably just as much as I didn't like Rick. So, and at this point, it's been so long since I done watched that early shit that I can't remember why I didn't like Madison. But I don't like Madison. I think she was a little bit on the treacherous side. You couldn't trust that bitch. Not towards her people before, but for other folks. So, and then the seasons after that, when the shit got kind of goofy, I don't know if it was season 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? When the showrunners switched over and all this other shit, and then they brought over Morgan and Dwight, you know, from the original series. And the show, I mean, it was watchable. I wasn't complaining about the show. I really wasn't. I watched that up until shit. Up until the season 7 or whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's fucking Morgan in there screaming. And up until this season 8, the final season, and I'm just like, I'm trying to watch it. I don't know if I got Walking Dead burnout, but even this shit, because it's a bunch of fucking kid stuff they have up in here. I do not like kids in shows and movies. For the most part, I don't like them. And it's not because of the kid itself. You know what I'm saying? The actor. Because they not writing the shit that they doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't. If you got teenagers, they don't never do what the fuck you want them to do. They always go off and do some stupid ass shit. Well, the teenager didn't write the fucking script. You know what I'm saying? It was a grown ass motherfucker did that. And it's always the same. It was the first in Fear the Walking Dead when it first came out and had them teenagers in it. It was fucking make you want to fucking just choke the hell out of somebody. When fucking when that dude's son died off, oh man, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. He died doing some stupid ass shit. He was one of them characters that was stupid. They just kept him stupid till they killed him off. I'm pretty sure they knew what they was doing. His sister wasn't that bad, but that motherfucker there, oh man, yeah, ruined the goddamn show. They killed him off. Didn't have to deal with that until this shit here got a bunch of kids in it. And come to find out that at this point, I'm gonna have to skip back when I go back in there and see that they dealing with a whole camp, whole society full of kids over some stupid ass premise of saving kids from grieving, from losing their parents, which is stupid, which is why I'm not paying attention to it now, because the whole point of them kidnapping or snatching kids from their parents, babies and shit, was to keep them from being able to feel the guilt of losing a parent, so they never have to feel that guilt, because the motherfuckers that's ahead of this shit, who are kids, they teenagers, but they're kids. Don't nobody know that though. It's because they lost their dad when they was kids. So their whole deal is, okay, we don't want the other kids to feel this, so we're gonna snatch them from their parents so they never have to feel that again. Who the fuck wrote this? Who the fuck wrote this? It is so goddamn dumb. And then on the fact that it's just like, okay, we got a teenage villain, a bunch of teenage kids, right? And then you got to deal with Morgan's daughter. Last time you seen her, she was a goddamn baby. Now it's like 8 years later because it was a fucking time jump. You got to deal with her and some PTSD. And then you got Morgan, who was a cool character at one point, but now he's not. He's just a fucking psycho. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking not even psycho. He a head case. He's still, and I'm still at you. I thought that was in Texas. I thought that was off in Galveston or somewhere off the coast. And now all of a sudden, this motherfucker's back in his old. I mean, it's a time jump and a geography skip. This motherfucker was back in his house trying to bury his son, which, let me tell you, it's dumb as fuck. It's dumb as shit. Because you got to think about it. That shit happened way back in the first season of the original series. So Morgan somehow got his ass back in fucking Georgia at his old house. Don't ask me a fuck how. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in Texas. Now, he way the fuck back at his original house in fucking Georgia. I'm thinking it's in Georgia. Where he's going through this head shit where I gotta put my son to rest. Nigga, your son died like 8 years, 4, 5. like 15 goddamn years ago, however long it's been since the guy. A lot of time, at least 10 years have gone by since the original outbreak. Just tell you that right now. In the current timeline, at least 10 years have gone by. I don't know, it's more, I know it's more than 10, but it's at least 10. Now, he back at the original house he was in when him and Rick met. And he trying to find his son who been dead for all that time so he can put him down. Nigga, he ain't still walking around. He not. It's stupid because they showed his wife. You know, his wife was a walker out. You know, he couldn't manage to shoot her or whatever. He ended up putting her down some kind of goddamn way. They showed her laying in the bed. So he managed to put her down, lay her in the bed, put the covers over her face and all this other stuff. And was looking for his son so he can bury his son. Nigga, over a decade has passed. Ain't nothing left for them. It shouldn't be. They showed his wife laying there in the bed. I mean, like in real time, they showed him put the covers back on his wife's head. And it looked like she did in the first. Look, it's established that these zombies, I said zombies, these walkers, at least the live ones, decay slower. You know what I'm saying? They are still rotting. You know what I'm saying? They're still rotting. They're dead. They're still rotting. And it's a progression in the show, moving throughout the seasons. If you pay attention, you probably have to get the show notes and stuff like that to be able to know this shit. But you'll notice there are more immobile and decayed zombies as the show go on, which means a lot of those zombies just kind of collapse. They just laying on the ground. It's a puddle of whatever, maybe just their head, all kind of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It should be, at that point, she's already dead. Over 10 years then gone by. Fucking bones. That's all, bones and dust. That's the only thing should be in that goddamn bed. His son, who he thinks should still be walking around by now, wouldn't be a mobile thing right now. He would have been in just then decayed and died. He just would have expired. The hell? Yeah, he just would have expired. What the hell? Who the hell is calling me? Oh, that's Metro. Yeah, he would have just expired by now. 10 years have gone by. So that is just dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all work at the goddamn studio where they make all this. Y'all ain't paying no attention to the shit that's going on with the goddamn show. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck did he end up? I missed it. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck did he end up back in Georgia from Texas? You know what I'm saying? And how the fuck is his wife still in the bed after 10 years undecomposed? And on top of that, would his son still be roaming the fuck around after all that goddamn time? This kind of shit that takes me out of the fucking show. And the fact that shit is still on his mind. Like I said, Morgan's a fucking head case. He's always been a head case. You know what I'm saying? He's always been a head case. So that ain't really nothing new. But he's a fucking head case. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? What the hell is happening with him? You know what I'm saying? What's happening with him and what's happening with the writers? Now, when I go back in here, I finished the season eventually. It ain't just six episodes like the other shit. This is like a full season. So I finished watching this shit, and hopefully something catches my attention to where I kind of overlook some of this shit. You can't overlook that. And Morgan is not the show savior. I mean, somebody else got to be able to step up in this show to be able to pick up the pace a little bit. It's not Morgan. You know what I'm saying? He's a good side character. he shouldn't be the one that's trying to carry the fucking show, because he's a moron at times. He's headstrong and what some will call moral, upward moral, or whatever you want to call it. But he's a fucking head case, and he don't always think rationally. And once at times he could just be fucking stupid, and it take another character to save his ass, or just kind of derail him off of his crazy track that he on. So yeah. And the kid shit, I'm just gonna have to hope that we move past that a little bit, because there's been some opportunities in this where they shouldn't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? The two teenagers that's running this whole organization is kidnapping these kids and all this other shit, and they got all this leverage and command over all these goddamn. It's fucking dumb. It don't make sense. It don't hold up when you really think about it. It just doesn't. The infrastructure is not there. At least it's not shown. It's not shown to where they would have that kind of reach and that kind of authority over people, to where don't nobody know that it's two teenagers running this whole goddamn thing, and they out and about. You know what I'm saying? They not hid away, but they don't know that they running this shit. They still got this imaginary. Their dad is the one that's supposed to be running this shit. They call him Padre, but don't nobody ever see Padre. So, you know, you talk to them and they relay shit to Padre, which is nothing. They, you know, whatever. So that's it with the Fear the Walking Dead. And I try not to agree with a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't trying to agree with nobody. I got my own goddamn opinion, but the shit seems to be on a downward goddamn spiral. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not a downward spiral, the tide is at least sinking. You know, it's So I'm hoping, because I am a fan of The Walking Dead, I look forward to this shit when it come the fuck out, that whatever shows they got continuing get better. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of this shit like Pilot. You know, where the first episode of a new show, or the first season of a new show, kind of like Fallout, where at the end of the season of Fallout, you get all these questions. You know what I'm saying? You got all this shit that happened in Fallout up until the final episode, and at the final episode, boom, we got these questions about what's gonna happen later. You're looking forward to the shit. Well, I mean, you got questions and shit at the end of these, but you don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing intriguing that happens in the Walking Dead shows to where, okay, I'm looking forward to what fucking happens after this. Maybe in Dead City, because the big bad, that whatever that lady is, got her thumb on Negan. So she could have forced Negan to be the Negan that we used to know. You know what I'm saying? So at least that's what it appears. Negan gonna have to be Negan again, against his will, but he's gonna have to be Negan again, at least to some degree. So you like, okay, we gonna see. Then you got Daryl Dixon. That shit ended with Carol looking for Daryl, and that can go any kind of way. It depends on what you. That clearly depends on how you feel about Carol, because the Daryl, ain't nothing that happens in the Daryl Dixon show make you look forward to anything. Now, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. Whether you can understand the French or the subtitles or any of that shit, there's nothing in that show that makes you look forward to shit. The only thing that grips you about that show is the fact that Carol is out there being Carol, looking for Daryl. Daryl. It's not Daryl. It's Daryl. It's a Y there. It's Carol and Daryl. I seen somewhere where they had Daryl spelled like Carol. It was funny. But anyway, it was D-A-R-O-L. No, that's now he spelled Daryl, you fucking idiot. I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. But yeah, that's what gets you looking forward to that. And then with the ones who live, they just left it at that. So if they decide they want to do anything after that, it's I don't know what they would do. You know, I don't know what they would do if they do anything, because everybody's spread out right now. You know, you got Maggie and what's his name in New York, or somewhere along the East Coast. I know Dead City is New York, but it mentions other little areas around that off the island. So you can either be in Jersey, or I don't think they go north of that. You know, maybe down to DC. I think I heard something about DC or something. I don't know. Then you got Daryl that's in France, and you got Carol, who is at this point still in the States. So everybody's off doing their own goddamn thing. So there won't be no reunification no time soon. We won't have no Walking Dead Avengers reunification at no time soon. But I'm hoping the stories get better, because I'm gonna watch the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch the shit. Now, with this Fear the Walking Dead shit, this is the final season of this, so I ain't gotta worry about that shit. But the other stuff, at least 2 of those got shit moving forward. So I'll be looking forward to that. This shit, no, this is the final season, just like the original. There's just ain't nothing else coming out after it. There'll be no more Fear the Walking Dead after this. And from just from this shit, they don't need to make no more. It ain't no more. Even though, because I think it's a bunch of characters missing. I think Victor is missing. They brought Daniel. I like Daniel. And June. They got June. So there are characters that are popping back up in here. Not all at once. They kind of boop, bloop, bloop. Every once in a while somebody will show up, and then they'll end up integrated into the goddamn story some kind of goddamn way. But I don't see ain't that many characters. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that many characters. The only other character is Victor. And he could show up. You know what I'm saying? He could show up. Show up and do what? I have no idea. Victor, one of them motherfuckers. Victor's a wild card. You know, out there for himself. So even if he part of the group, you don't know if he for you or against you. He won't generally fuck you up, but you don't know if he gonna ghost you or switch sides or some shit like that. It just, he's weird like that, but he managed to stick around all this goddamn time. So whatever. So yeah, but he's a treacherous type. You can't really trust him. But he's still out there, and that's it. So whatever. I hope that this shit gets better before it goes off, and then it'll be the long wait for whenever the next season 2s come out for these spinoffs. So that's it for me, man. That's my talk on The Walking Dead. I will catch y'all on the next video.